Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Phlegra campaign. If you recall, last time we had found ourselves in a bit of a pickle. We are at war on 3 fronts, which is very, very interesting. However, the most interesting thing is that we're actually kind of holding our own, despite not fighting particularly efficiently. So, up here, we have Vanheim under siege with our army of helots. These guys should probably join the main infantry line up there. As should these guys. Let's split these guys up to fill out the bodyguard squads that have gotten a little bit depleted. And then the rest of them can join the infantry line once again. So we've got 107 siege strength here. The walls are moderately damaged in Vanheim. The walls are also moderately damaged in Ashdod, where we are also besieging, albeit with quite a bit more siege strength. We've got a couple lines of helot archers, a couple big squads of helot archers. And we've also got some decent infantry here. We have Fortress Iapetus heading up that attack. Fortress Iapetus has 1 heir, so he can mirror image himself, which is a very solid ability. Over here, I've got a fairly significant army. We're going to set these guys to research at first. We may well be moving them out momentarily, however. This is the last real surviving army of Ashdod. Mainly long-deads. It does have a contingent of Sheshai Anakites, however. Fortress Enceladus and Fortress Agaslaus have finished crushing Ashdod forces down here. Fortress Agaslaus is going to continue on to take that province, which has an Ahiman Anakite. Fortress Enceladus, I think, is going to come over here, and we will launch an attack. Admetos can come down this way. Up here, we've got a reasonable contingent of troops, including 7 Cyclops. So I think what we're going to do is... you're on hold and attack closest. Let's shift things around a little bit. You're on hold and fire closest. I don't actually want you guys to hold. I need you guys to go in and attack. Yeah, you go in and fire. You guys just run in and attack straight away. And you are on... no, not you. You need to fire large monsters. We'll put you in a line as well. Actually, let's put you in a double line. Great. So, I feel like this army can probably do some work. And we're also going to send our Magi. Setting them up is going to take a little bit. So Phlegias will be leading the communion, as will Seleucos. They're going to have 2 communion slaves, both Earth. So Phlegias is going to summon Earth Power, Destruction, then Earth Meld. Destruction will, of course, destroy enemy armor. You are also going to summon Earth Power, which will be vital. Then you're going to cast Iron Skin to help everybody live longer. Then Temper Flesh, for the same reason, to help the slaves live longer. And then, with your 3 Earth, actually, summon Iron Skin. I would like to get Legions of Steel and Strength of Giants up. Unfortunately, my infantry are going to advance out of range before that happens, almost certainly, because Legions of Steel and Strength of Giants are both only range 15. So my troops will have to hold still. Okay, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's go Strength of Giants, Legions of Steel, and then cast spells. So you need to be down here. I don't think they have much by way of archery. Phlegias, you need to be up there. So you're going to need to summon Earth Power instead of Destruction. I'm going to need Iron Skin from you, and then you can throw Earth Melds. Polyphontes, you can kind of stay back here. Hippomako, stay back here as well. We're going to move this line of archers to be behind you. Yeah, we'll have the small line of archers behind you, and we'll have the small line of infantry behind them on hold and fire. Then this line of infantry will shift up to there, and they are on hold and attack. And... okay, yeah, that should help. The giants, the Cyclops are undisciplined, but they should fetch up against the infantry there and kind of wander around a little bit. Phlegius can move back. You can also move back just a little, just so maybe you won't be caught in as much crossfire. As for the commanders, nope, they don't need that scripting. They need to hold and stay behind troops. And we're just going to call that script 0, so I never use it. And all my commanders are going to get script 0. Because none of them should under any circumstances be going into battle. Okay, so let's launch that attack. We'll move Fortress Enceladus over there. Fortress Agaslaus, you can't reach there anyway, so yeah, take that province. Asietes, you might have one more turn before you die, so why don't you come down here to search for magic sites. Sperchios is building a palisade. Yep, continue fort construction. Actually, get over here, see if maybe you can build a lab before you die. Over here, we are spamming out Helot infantry and slave mages. We're going to research real quick. We're recruiting another tyrant here. Might want to swap that out for a sage, I guess. Don't have much air gem income yet. Yeah, I've already got several fortresses moving around. Up here, Fortress Salzar is going to attack down into this little army. With his giant friend, he should be fine. He doesn't have any gear. I do want to get him gear pretty soon, but he should be okay. This army's just going to hold the siege. I think they'll be able to take out these armies even if they were to combine against me. There is another Vanheim fortress up here, so we need to deal with that mess, but all of these troops, under the commands of Neriones and Fortress Othrionis, are moving down to face off against the hordes of Celeria, and they have some hordes. Fortress Prothus. Yeah, I think I need you to move as well. Neriones, join him. Fortress Prothus, yeah, jump into that fortress. Actually, you could jump straight into the horde. Slingers, Hastatus, Ale Legionaries, Velites, and Triarius. You've got a fire shield from your charcoal shield. You've got defense skill 15. You throw Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, then you summon Earth Power. That'll give you a total of 9 or 10 reinvigoration, because you have Boots of the Messenger. You might be able to take an army. I'm going to throw Fortress Prothus into this province in an effort to see if I can take out that army. I don't know if it's going to move. In fact, it probably will. Why don't we go down there instead? Yeah, because they might move there. If they move there, they'll be caught. Over here, we're having assassinations, which is a real problem. If you'll recall... Yeah, there's a Silurian assassin there that's attacking our Shepherd Shaman. So what I need to do about that is actually I need to try and patrol the assassin away. I've got 30 units there, yeah, and Atalos just stand in the middle. So Atalos, you patrol the province with your 30 troops. You may be able to catch him. Assassins are quite stealthy, so possibly not. I don't want to do that, because I'm going to get collapsed on. Okay, just summon some... I don't have any nature gems. It's a bad situation. I may lose Oaklands. It does have 500 wall integrity, so it'll hold up under siege for a while. I do have decent siege defense. Not great siege defense, because Mouflons contribute almost no siege defense. Helot soldiers contribute some. I need to be recruiting here, which I'm not at the moment, because I'm recruiting over there. So I may lose this fortress. They'll collapse on me. They'll take about 2 or 3 turns to break the walls down. If I can get relief there in time, that'll be great. If not, it still won't be the end of the world. Instead of Awakening Vinemen, just summon more Mouflons. Having more Mouflons will be good. And if we can get one Trophimos Oppressor, we'll be able to do some kind of magic. Over here... I do not need to be recruiting troops here at the moment. Also, fun fact, which I just recently remembered by using the hotkeys. If you press delete, it clears out all recruitment, which can be very, very useful. Down here is where I actually need to be recruiting troops. So let's get a pile of Helot archers and also some Helot axemen. Great. And we will also recruit a Shackled Mage. Or start recruiting a Shackled Mage, rather. This one has not been upgraded. Yeah, continue fort construction, please. Okay. So, let's see how those moves go for us. Let's end the turn. Okay, we're up to evocation level 3, which is opening up more and more options. The Throne of Summer has been claimed in the name of Nidhogger, interestingly. Somebody cast a fire ranged spell on Helmshire, which didn't kill anybody. There was a battle in Nashen. So this is our fortress province. They've moved an army in. A fairly respectable army, including a bunch of their national troops, some lictors, all that good stuff. Against my Heelot province defense, I believe. Yeah, I think this is just province defense. Let's see how the Helots acquit themselves. Getting some arrows off. Arrows are not terribly effective against Silurian troops. Neither are javelins, because they all tend to wear heavy shields. So I don't imagine we're going to do a whole lot of damage. We are doing some damage, but I don't think we're getting a lot of kills. Yep, and the armies of Phlegra are routed. So, in Nashen, we did kill 3 of their lictors. That's nice, because lictors are their expensive sacred troops. So, okay, we killed 3 lictors. Battle in Ivanmoor. We are attacking Ashdod. So they should have, yeah, they do have an Ahiman Anakite, but he's very beat up. He's weakened and has a never-healing wound. They've got some Barbarian Province Defense, a couple of archers, and a Rephite Commander. Fortress Agaslaus is throwing his buffs. Buffing himself up. He doesn't have a shield, but he does have dual-wielded weapons, plus the Burning Pearl to give him extra attack. He's got his Iron Skin up, and he's about to Temper Flesh. And with that, he's going to go into battle. And against unblessed Rephites, that's enough for him to wipe them out pretty effectively. Unfortunately, it looks like he's getting distracted from the Anakite. Which I really don't like. I wish he wasn't. There we go. There he killed the Anakite. Excellent. So he's going to clean these guys up pretty effectively. Yep, there we go. Okay, excellent. Good job, Agaslaus. Oaklands. So they attacked the fortress and fought the province defense, lost a couple of spearmen. In Perenna, what happened in Perenna? This should have been the big battle. So we've got our army lined up. Fortress Enceladus way at the back. I thought I put him forward, but I guess I must have forgotten. And over here we have a very significant army, including his prophet with 3 afflictions, a Kohen, archer, 1 heavy cavalry, a whole bunch of undead, including long-dead Rephites, which do lots of damage, and a big pack of Sheshai Anakites. Those are the dangerous ones. 2 big packs of Sheshai Anakites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Sheshai, and 2 Anakim. A Rephite Sage, an Emite with 2 death. I think I might have lost this one. It's very possible. Fortress Enceladus might be able to pull it out for me. Let's see. See if we can get our spells off. Okay, so we got some, we got a couple of buffs off. Looks like, yeah, we got Strength of Giants off on some of these guys, which is solid. Okay, the Cyclops Warriors and Fortress Enceladus may be able to pull it out, but it's going to be tricky. Not if they charge straight ahead into all the Anakites alone, for sure they can't. Oh good, yeah, Legions of Steel on the archers, that's what they need. That's perfect. You can see we've already built up a lot of fatigue on our Shackled Mages. The Shackled Mages may well die. We're doing some work, but the Anakites are proving very, very difficult to kill. We're up to 130 fatigue on our Shackled Mages already. At least he's setting some of his own guys on fire. I mean, there's that, I guess. Throwing some Magma Bolts. A little bit of anti-undead casting to get rid of some of these long-dead Rephites. But they're through the infantry. The Anakites have wiped the infantry out. I am going to lose Phlegius. 100% gonna lose Phlegius. Like, that is not even a question at this point. Yep, there he goes. So, the Anakites have just proven to be too much. And Fortress Enceladus is also running because my armies have routed. He didn't get to Berserk. If I had put him in the front, this might have been different. He is horror marked, unfortunately. That's really a problem. But if he'd been up in the front, able to get his Berserk off and start fighting these Anakites along with the infantry. Yeah, that was a real misplay on my part. Okay. Let's see how much damage we actually did. So we lost our Shackled Mages and our Theurg Tyrant. The Trophimos Oppressor got away. We lost almost everybody. Enemy casualties. Not much. None of the Anakites. At all. Few Amorites and Edomites, and a bunch of their long dead, and that's all. Looks like everybody did successfully retreat. But, oof. That's rough. Okay. I misplayed that. In Vanheim, our sieging force has been beaten. They had some wyverns. How'd they beat us? They killed our command. Okay. The Vans, the Valkyries, are almost certainly what did it. They got us with backline sniping again. Because all our commanders died. Yeah, they got us with backline sniping. Yep, there we go. That was it. That's the one. Okay. Boy, we are just doing really, really badly. In White Harbor, we won. Great. In Forbidden Forest, we won against Province Defense. Great. A worldwide event has occurred. Throne of Summer's been claimed. In Phlegra, we got a little extra income. We're under siege in Oaklands and in Nashin, but Fortress Salzar is now heroically quick, so that's nice. So, we are going to need to retreat from Vanheim. This war has been a failure. And unfortunately, we now have a couple of other wars that we kind of have to focus on. What happened in Oaklands again? Yeah, Oaklands, they've besieged us in Oaklands. Which is honestly okay. It's just the mercenaries. I'm not sure where the rest of Solaria's troops went. They pulled back for some reason. Let's bring Fortress Agaslaus down here. Fortress Enceladus. Yeah, you were way at the back because you were still scripted to Thug, basically. Let me get 5 of these guys and have them guard commander on him. So if he gets attacked, he has those. Let's put these guys up front and the archers right behind. We'll put the Trophimos commander also right behind. Right like that. These 5 will be set to guard commander on him. There we go. And then those 2 will kind of be up there holding and firing. This whole rigmarole is solely to support Fortress Enceladus and let him get all his buffs off. If he can get all his buffs off, he's very, very dangerous. Over here, we are in a bit of a pickle. And no mistake. What we could do here is spam Cyclops. I've seen worse ideas, given that we're up against giants. And these guys have a point of siege defense each. They're undisciplined, but they do enough damage that if they hit, which is unlikely, but if they hit, they can hurt the Anakites. Getting a Gigante warrior also wouldn't be the worst idea. But he costs 44 recruitment points, and Cyclops are only 7. That's the thing about Gigantes. Like, yeah, they're nice troops, but they cost a whole bunch of recruitment points and upkeep, and nothing else does. I mean, the Cyclops cost upkeep, I guess. But you can recruit a whole bunch of Cyclops if you need giants. And it's just not a problem. So, this army is mainly Anakites. Let's pull Fortress Enceladus and these troops into the fortress here. There's only a Centurion there. You go break the siege here. This army go break the siege there. We've got another army here set up pretty effectively. Tukros, you need to research for the moment. What have I forged? Let me give you a Dwarven Hammer. And what can you forge for me that will be really valuable right now? You can forge more charcoal shields or golden hoplons. You can forge flame helmets, which give a fire magic boost. I don't really need any real high-level magic right now. You could also forge chainmails of displacement, which would be really useful for my tyrants. They're expensive, but they're useful. Silver hauberks would also be pretty useful because they give you air shield. And of course, elemental armor gives you resistance to most of the element, to fire, shock, and cold. But they give you a big defense penalty and extra encumbrance. Dancing shield's not bad. Stone bird is kind of hilarious, and it's not expensive. Good for taking out swarms of infantry. Let's forge a chainmail of displacement, because we're about to have a new tyrant come out. Then you can also... let's also forge a Mace of Eruption for him. And who else is available to forge something? I need an Earth guy. I guess it's you. You give him the main gouge of parrying. And I don't have any nature free, I don't believe. Build a lab real quick. So we'll get another fortress going right over there. That'll be good. Now, up on this side, we are going to need to send some more troops to help extricate people. These guys I'm just going to leave to die in Tapanete. We did kill their god, so we made some progress against Vanheim. We just didn't have the actual muscle to seal the deal, especially when it came to protecting our lines from flying troops. I needed to deploy in much more of a defensive formation, and I needed to have more infantry. I didn't bring all the infantry that I can bring, and that cost me. So, we're going to spam out a whole bunch more infantry right there, research-wise. We're going down evocation. We do want to swap back to enchantment pretty quickly to grab flaming arrows, because flaming arrows is now something that we can cast very, very easily. We have all these tyrants running around that natively have 4 fire, so flaming arrows is like really simple. Let's grab evocation. Evocation 4 would give me Blade Wind. 5 gives me Falling Fires. I don't need to go all the way to 6, definitely. 6 gives me Flame Eruption, which is the close range fire spell that would be great for tyrants, and Magma Eruption. But I don't need it just yet. Evocation level 3 has already given me Fireball and Magma Bolt. So let's swap away from Evocation for now. And let's grab Enchantment level 4. After that, we may go back to Evocation. We're not still recruiting Mermen, which is good. We've got 12 in the garrison at the moment. Let's throw those guys in there and go take this other province from the Shark Tribe. Just for a little bit more money. Money is never, ever bad. Leonai, you're patrolling with some infantry. Why don't you patrol a little harder? And I think that'll be good for now. I need to start site searching more aggressively, especially for air, because I want to be able to produce owl quills. So let's take Grenikos here. I could cast Call of the Winds. Not useful. Let's take Grenikos and start moving him around to site search. That province is safe, because there's no enemies nearby. Yeah. Let's do that thing. They've removed some of my air income by taking that copper idol, which is unfortunate, but it'll be fine. Let's end another turn, see if we can break the sieges of our forts and start producing mages again. We're not going to attack this province again yet. We're going to wait for a bit. Here I have the kind of infantry that can make a difference. Or, well, the kind of archers. I mean, I have a ton of archers, and then I also have Fortress Iapetus. And Fortress Iapetus will be able to go in and be a problem, because he's going to be very, very hard to kill, and he'll be able to do quite a bit of damage. With this loadout, he won't kill Anakites, like one per turn or anything, because he's doing a lot of AoE damage with the Mace of Eruption, but he will do steady damage, and he will resist dying with his Temper Flesh, Iron Skin, Mirror Image combo. So, who all's doing nothing again? You're doing nothing? Yeah, you just run away. You're doing nothing. That's fine, actually. What you should be doing is... No, I don't want you to patrol. I want you to do nothing. That's fine. And same with you. Okay. Okay, so, battle in Tiradir. So we're attacking into Vanheim, our two giants against his little pitiful province defense. Somehow I don't think Salazar is going to have much of a problem with this one. Yep, there goes that guy. Neither of them have even berserked yet. They haven't taken damage. Yep, there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And it was entirely the Tyrant that did the killing. In Tapanete, we were attacked by Vanheim. They're just cleaning up my infantry. They have a whole bunch of summoned ogres, as well as a large contingent of skin shifters and a couple of vans. And we just ran away because we have no leadership. That's fine. Battle in Ashdod. So let's see what happened in Ashdod. Ah! They brought the Anakites. So the Anakite gang came over to Ashdod in an attempt to relieve the siege of their fortress. But this time, they're running into two of my Phlegran fortresses, backed up by a crap ton of archers and a reasonable line of infantry. Agaslaus is once again way at the back, which is not where he should be, but it's okay. So the archers are going off. They're not accomplishing too terribly much. And they're getting distracted, but that's okay. Here come the Anakites. Fortress Iapetus has gotten trapped in among the infantry, but the Anakites are going to cut their way through to him pretty quickly. There he goes. And there he goes. Wiping out Anakites pretty damn quick. And over here, Fortress Agaslaus has also met the enemy. And he's doing a bang-up job. Now, I have to make sure to remind people, the only reason my fortresses are doing even this well against Anakites is that the Anakites are unblessed. These Anakites have effectively no bless whatsoever. The only bless that the god of Ashdod has given them is Combat Farcaster and Morale. Blessed Anakites are extremely dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I've done quite a bit of testing. Tyrants equipped specifically to fight Anakites, which means differently from this. Basically, in order to equip specifically to fight Anakites, you take 2 main gouges of parrying, and a horned helmet, and a belt. If you've got all that gear, that's all Construction 2 or Construction 4 gear. At that level, a fortress with the horned helmet and the 2 gouges giving him 3 attacks all at high damage, and the belt to reinvigorate him, and his stacked up buffs. That guy can reliably take on, like, 3 or 4 Anakites with an actual bless on them. He cannot take on more than that, have pretty decent odds of killing him, which is a serious problem. But as you can see here, my fortresses are staying on the field, doing a decent job. They are taking damage. Fortress Iapetus is down to half health. He doesn't have the defense score and protection to quite actually stand up against these guys while taking no damage. But he does have the skills to put them down slowly over time, given that they don't have a bless. So, my 2 tyrants staying on the field because of their berserk, and not fatiguing out because of their reinvigoration. He only has reinvigoration 3, but that'll be fine as long as he's out of combat. He has reinvigoration 4. Wait, why does he only have 3? Oh, he must not have gotten Earth Power off. He must not have summoned Earth Power. Okay. But that's okay, so long as they stay out of combat. Every round they're out of combat, they reinvigorate further. And that decay is not working on me because my magic resistance is quite high. So, we are going to go and stab these giant mages to death as well. Now, he's lucky, so he's avoiding death. But death finds him eventually anyway. So, we win on the strength of the tyrants. We wiped out the enemy army. We did lose pretty much all of our helots. And our Trophimos commander retreated. Both of them did, and a whole bunch of our other units retreated. The only remaining ones are the Phlegran tyrants. So, the defenders in the fort of Ashdod are now repairing the fort faster than we can tear it down. However, Iapetus now has unbreakable skin, and Othrioneus has heroic quickness, which is pretty cool. Let's look at the battle in White Harbor. That was just them reclaiming a province. In Oaklands, us attacking Ashdod. Okay, so we took that province very easily. And in Nashen, I believe this was us. Yes, this is us working to break the siege. So, we've got our tyrant in the correct place, which is up front. He is going to end up surrounded by infantry, unfortunately. This is a large army, but it's not a terribly dangerous army. Silurian infantry are solid, but not, like, unusually solid. They don't do a ton of damage. Mainly they're defensive. Slingers are almost worthless, and ghouls are not strong. They're only poison resistant. So, given that, I'm not terribly scared of any of this. Fortress Othrioneus is preparing himself. I definitely need to work on my positioning. I need to get these guys further forward, because they need to be in with the front lines when contact is made. So, a blistering exchange of missile fire. My troops go up against the legions and lose. And then my fortress goes up against the legions and takes, like, no damage. He has protection 30. Human troops can't hurt him unless they score a critical hit. Which they do, eventually, slowly. But with 10 reinvigoration, he's not fatiguing out. So he's only taken 4 hit points of damage. He's resistant to damage, and he's killing a square per round. Or close. Sometimes some of them live. But he's berserking. They can't stop him. They're all human strength. This is exactly the scenario in which tyrants and similar heavy thugs shine. He's not going to die here. Like, just there, he took a whole bunch of hits just from random chance. And even so, he's still got half of his health left. And he's going to keep killing them until they start failing morale checks. 26 hit points. Doing pretty well still. Up. 21 hit points. And they run. I'm frankly surprised they lasted that long. And then he'll run a couple more of them down. So, in Nashen, 75 kills for the Phlegran Tyrant. About 60 kills between the archers and the warriors. And about 2/3 of the enemy army's been wiped out. A bunch of their slingers survived, a few shadow vestals. Most of their Praetorian guards and Principes are dead. Pretty much all their ghouls are dead, their Hastati are all dead, their LA Legionnaires are about half dead, and all their commanders are dead. Their Silurian cultists, commanders, and their Legatus Legionis. So this army is destroyed as a force. And we lost some units, but who cares? In the faraway sea, we lost, because Shark Tribe Tritons are berserkers with 3 attacks each, so they're very tough to kill. But our merman captain lived, we'll just whittle him down over time. And we completed our giant fortress in Cassian Forest. So overall, that turn was actually pretty decent for us. We have been, of course, driven out of the north, which I anticipated. But we've broken the siege of Nashen, and we now have Fortress Othrioneus in the fortress, where he can begin capturing slaves. We've got some troops down there. We will drive them from the field. You need standing orders number 0 and some bodyguards to keep you alive in case something goes terribly wrong, which, you know, things go terribly wrong with alarming frequency with Phlegra. Let's wipe those guys out. In Oaklands, what happened in Oaklands again? Yeah, we just drove the enemy away. So we've got more Silurian armies right there. Fortress Prothus, you start capturing slaves real quick for me. I need more troopers. We're besieging Ashdod, but we're not actually doing any good right at the moment. We need to get our armies back into action. So you get down there. You move over there. We've got some scattered enemy troops here. Why don't... Fortress Enceladus, why don't you take these guys? No, don't take those guys. Take these guys. And go out and do some damage. Yeah, kill that sage. Asopos. Take these troops. Line formation up front, hold and fire. Fire large monsters. You stand in the middle. So Asopos. Take that province. Only has a single Amorite in it. You, sir. Take all these guys. And go reclaim that province. Great. And you can go back to researching. Thermoetes, where were you going? You have one Cyclops. Don't go anywhere. You just stay here and patrol. Okay, so I think we're going to clean Ashdod up pretty rapidly. We've got a lab over here. Excellent. Once we get a fortress, we don't have any... There's no resources in this province, like literally none. There's resources around it, though, so we might be able to get some here. Why don't you search for magic sites before you die, which you will do next turn. We'll be sorry to see you go, but it happens to us all. Over here, we're going to start recruiting some sages, because I need more research. So let's pump out sages for a few turns to help with the whole research situation. You can search for magic sites. Fortress Salzar, I want you to capture slaves. I want you to hold this this province for a while. And I'm sure that there will be attacks. Let's start doing that. While we're thinking about it, can we recruit a mounted commander? Ooh, this is a heavy cavalry province as well. We'll build a fortress here. Hyperion. Or rather, Fortress Hyperion. Fortress Hyperion, I need you to help Salzar lead the war effort over on this side. Let's get you some basic items. Defense skill 21. That's the kind of defense skill that you need to see in order to, well, stay alive against the giants. I want you guys to take a break. I still only have 3 nature gems, so I can't afford another horned helmet. A Serpent Chris isn't a bad weapon when wielded by a giant because it does this death poison if it gets through. So all you have to do is shove it through the enemy armor, which giants can normally do pretty effectively, and it will inflict all that poison. Yeah, I need you all to start searching for nature sites, actually, so move out. Atalos. Atalos has a bunch of troops. I'm going to give Ptolemaeus a whole bunch of these guys to protect him in case he's attacked by Silurians. Fortress Prothus, yeah, you capture slaves. You stay here. You two keep summoning allies. Just for funsies. But I need to find some freaking nature sites, man. This lack of nature gems is really bringing me down. Neriones. Yeah, you're taking him. That's fine. Up here, Odysseus. Get the infantry, get the archers, and get the cavalry. And the cavalry is going to go over here and attack rear. And, of course, Fortress Othrius is going to stand out front. Let's actually move everybody back a little ways. Including the mages, definitely. Please, God, keep the mages back. I'm just sort of scattering them around the field right now. I don't anticipate them actually being used in combat yet. Just moving them backwards. It doesn't really matter since they're not going out to fight. So, with the fortress out front, we will give him 5 infantry to help block. Just to absorb an attack or two so that he can finish his buff cycle. Because Iron Skin, Temper Flesh... Fire Shield is the other one that could be useful. Yeah, let's get Fire Shield up, because he has 4 fire, so his Fire Shield will be pretty powerful. And against Chaff, which is what Siluria is fielding, Fire Shield would make him much, much tougher. But for now, he can just capture slaves. We've got pretty solid communion potential here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 slaves. And 4 masters. 8 slaves boosts your paths by 3. We would have serious fatigue issues if we actually deployed a communion that big, but it is an option. Research-wise, next turn we'll hit our enchantment level 4 goal. Then let's switch back to evocation up to level 4. Actually, no. No. Let's go to alteration level 5, because at alteration level 5, we get Maws of the Earth, which is a great large area damage spell, and it requires 3 earth. If we're casting it at 4 earth, it'll do extra damage and hit an extra square and have 5 extra range. It's a great spell. Plus, it afflicts anyone who survives it with Earth Meld. I can also spam Iron Warriors, which gives natural protection 20 to a square worth of soldiers. I could also use Wooden Warriors, which gives natural protection 10. That by itself would be a very significant buff. And if I get one of my nature mages in on a communion, they can do it. What I need for that is I need you to forge an oppressor's headband, which will cost a lot of earth gems, but will allow somebody to join a communion as a leader. So we're going to do that. We're going to forge an oppressor's headband. We're also... So Fortress Hyperion has some basic gear. He doesn't have a hat, and he doesn't have any reinvigoration items. Let's forge some items for Hyperion to take with him. So we're going to forge 2 girdles. I would also like Salzar to have a Mace of Eruption and a main gouge of parrying. The other option at low levels is to equip them with something like the Great Sword of Sharpness, which does a ton of armor-piercing damage and gives +4 attack and +4 defense. The downside, of course, is that it is two-handed, so you can't dual wield, you don't get 2 attacks, and it only hits 1 guy. Overall, I think I like the utility of the Mace of Eruption, main gouge of parrying combination a little better. Odysseus. You, I don't need to move. I want you to stay here and defend. So Fortress Hyperion, capture slaves for a turn while you're waiting. And we will recruit... We could recruit another Cyclops, because we are doing a lot of forging. Let's recruit another Cyclops, maybe? Well, I only really need Cyclops for forging high-level items. They are also good sight searchers, I guess, because they have fire, air, and earth, and the potential for water or 2 air. Let's actually just recruit another Tyrant, and I think what's going to happen is I'm going to end up using that Tyrant to sight search for a little while. Down here we're getting Shackled Mages, over here we're getting Sages. Great. Okay, yeah, so we're doing all right. Just peachy keen. I'm going to need to take that out at some point. But let's end the turn. I think so far, like I said, Ashdod we have broken. Ashdod's gone. That's the problem with Ashdod. They're fragile. If you actually manage to shatter their army of giants, They don't have many troops because their troops are so expensive. Now, of course, this AI does a dreadful job playing Ashdod because the AI does a dreadful job playing everyone. And Ashdod is worse because the AI can't follow its normal strategy of massing huge quantities of chaff like it can with Sileria. But the point remains, it's harder to do against a human player. But if you have an army of 30 giants, that's like a lot of Ashdod's military power, and if you can kill it through whatever means and come out with something still alive, you're probably in a good place. Alright, Grenikos was assassinated. I hate you, Sileria. You are the worst. So Sileria has assassins running around. I didn't find any magic sites, that's fine. I completed research in enchantment level 4. Excellent. There was a battle in Deep Forest. Not a problem, wiped out some province defense. In Ashdod, Ashdod is sallying forth against me again. With actually quite a bit. A bunch of summoned ogres, an Ahiman Anakite, a couple other giants. He's got a Talmai Elder with 3 fire, another Talmai Elder, a Rephite Sage, an Emite, and a whole bunch of Jaguar Tribe warriors with an Adon leading them, and a Cave Drake. I don't feel like this is going to end well for him because he still doesn't have good answers to my tyrants. But he is going to wipe out my infantry. Like, that's not in question. But I think this is going to end the same way the last battle did, with my tyrants ruling over the ashes. Now, he does have these fire elementals, and fire elementals are ethereal and have fire shield. So they'll do AP damage back to anyone who attacks them, and 75% of attacks will miss with non-magical weapons. Unfortunately, my fortresses are equipped with entirely magical weapons. They are persistently horror-marking and frightening, which is useful for them. But yeah, the fortresses are just... How does he have 98 hit points? Oh, that's right. He's heroically obese. Fortress Agathos has unequaled obesity. Oh, that's hilarious. He only has Reinvigoration 4, though. I need to get him some Reinvigoration items, because his fatigue is going up too quickly, especially since he is obese. Yeah, the rest of my army is being destroyed, but my tyrants are not going down without a fight. And this one's berserking. Agathos is actually not berserking, I think because he hasn't really taken a hit yet. Oh, now he's berserking. He's going to be horror-marked to hell and back by the end of this. It's just going to be non-stop horrors coming after Fortress Agathos, which will be a problem. But, yeah. He doesn't have any answers to the tyrants. This is how thugs, especially heavy thugs like this, tend to work in Dominions. If you can get them out, they're expensive. I mean, each of these guys represents a significant investment of gems. Like, this guy is, 5, 15... I think I got this one for free. But 15, 20, 25, it would be 30 if he had a horned helmet. Like, 30 gems have gone into this guy. But once you have them, they can only be stopped by very specific counters. Now, if the enemy can deploy those specific counters, they're relatively simple to stop. But without the counters, regular armies that are designed to fight other armies just won't do anything. So you can see the Phlegra Tyrants, 54 kills. They just wiped out this whole army, which had some summoned units, it had an Anakite, it had a whole bunch of mages. They didn't have the specific spells they needed to stop heavily geared, heavily armored thugs like this. And Phlegra is honestly one of the best nations for this because they have access to tyrants, and tyrants are very, very solid. Tyrants are up there with Melkarts, and there's only Melkarts, Dione, and Phlegran Tyrants, I think, are by far the 3 best thug/super combatant recruitable chassis in the game. So we beat the Sally there once again. In Pavonia, we took out a Silurian army. It was a small and weak one, and we had the troops to just wipe it out. Helots, it's interesting. I'm noticing Helots tend to work this way. Either they win big and take almost no casualties, or they suck and die and inflict almost no casualties. It's interesting, because like in this one, they just overpowered the enemy. And when they overpower the enemy like that, they're able to kill them very, very rapidly without taking many losses. But I do definitely think Helot warriors need to be buffed to be effective. Even outside like year 1 or 2, they need buffs. So you must have Construction 3 and Enchantment 3 in order to make your Helot warriors worth much, except as chaff and fodder for your tyrants. In the Yellow Mountains, wiped out province defense. Wait. Yes, we did. 3 units retreated. Okay, that's fine. And in Perenna, we wiped out a small army and province defense. And once again, the tyrant was the one who did the work. I mean, that's just how it goes. Like, I just deployed this guy with a few dudes guarding him for fun. And he ran into an army. And he's just going to buff himself up. And go to work. He's got horror marks. A lot of my guys are getting horror marked, and just kind of has to be too bad. He's got his mirror image. I don't think he cast Earth Power, though. So yeah, he only has 3 Reinvigoration. But 3 Reinvigoration will be enough for now. Because he is just whooping on these guys. He's lost his mirror image, but with 30 protection, even without the mirror image, he's just not going to hurt much. I mean, like, giants. These giant troops, the Edomites have 17 damage. Come here, you. Come here, you. Yeah, the Gileadites, who are bigger, they have 21 damage. They just don't do enough damage to cut through that 30 protection. Once you get that up, once you Berserk and get Iron Flesh up and then Temper Flesh, it's pretty solid. It's a very simple combo. It does have counters. Armor negating damage would annihilate these tyrants. But to get armor negating damage, you have to equip another thug, or you have to deploy spells that do armor negating damage, which are fairly rare. Armor piercing damage wouldn't really do it, because most of the spells that do armor piercing damage do like low teens or mid-teens, and against Protection 30 will still keep him alive against those, especially because they tend to be fire, and he has 15 fire resistance at the moment. So you have to hit him with armor negating damage to kill him. If you hit him with armor negating damage, he would die very inefficiently. He wouldn't be worth it. But against somebody who's not deploying any of that, I think these guys are very, very solid. In Oaklands, we found some Astral Pearls. We finished a giant Palisades, and our Trophimos Oppressor finally died of a disease. That's fine. I'm going to cut this episode here. We're doing better. We've solidified our position down south. We have thrown out Ashdod, and we can basically siege them down at our leisure at this point. They don't have much left down south. We've reconsolidated our borders. We are backing up against Vanheim, but we have a solid defensive position that we can hold with our fortresses. We're going to give him that. Actually, we're going to give him both belts so he can transfer one, and then we are also going to take Cleonai with us, and he's going to carry that stuff. So these two can move out in that direction. It'll take them a little while to get there, especially because I do want them to bring troops with them. So it'll take them a couple of turns, but that's fine. It'll take them 2 turns. In 2 turns, they'll be over here to support Fortress Salzar, give him his gear. We will be searching for nature gems. We need nature gems to get some of those items that are really valuable for our giants. Research-wise, we're going to hit Alteration level 5, which will give us wooden warriors. It will also give us access to Mother Oak, except that we don't have any nature magic, except for level 1. So we can pretty much ignore that. But at level 5, we'll get wooden warriors and Maws of the Earth, which will be a significant upgrade to our capabilities. We're going to forge another of those headbands, so a couple of our Cyclops Shepherd Shamans can join communions. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. Why is Grenicos still alive? Oh, he killed the assassin. I thought he died. Wait, hold up. Hold the phone. He used lightning bolt, didn't he? Yeah, because he's an A2 mage. Yep. That's what he did. Good job, Grenikos. Oh, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Grenikos, you are the best. Alright, good. So that freaking assassin is dead. Wow, I feel dumb. I thought Grenikos was dead. Okay. Well, that's excellent. Keep moving around to search for sites, buddy. You're my favorite now. And, yeah, I think we're in a pretty solid position. We've got a secured heartland here of reasonable size. I mean, we've got a fair few provinces. We can, recruit more water units to go finish off those shark tribe if we can. And I think we're positioned fairly well to resume the push against... It's going to be against Sileria. We're going to have to fight Sileria because they're more of a threat. Vanheim is a little less of a threat. Now that we've got thugs up and running, our berserking, thugged-out tyrants will be able to deal with their sacred units. Once again, against those flying units especially, we're not going to be able to rely on helots because the helots are just going to be... The command is going to be wiped out. And that's a notable weakness of helots. But so long as our giants are around, so long as the tyrants are active, we'll be okay. We're also going to give Fortress Hyperion here like 8 fire gems, and he's going to take them with him over to Fortress Salzar, and we're going to start using flaming arrows, which we now have access to make our troops' ranged weapons hit a lot harder. Those short bows will more than double in effectiveness, almost triple in effectiveness, really, under flaming arrows, and our javelins will also become notably more dangerous. Against things with shields, that still won't help us, but against things that don't have shields, against things that are relying on, melee damage, we will be able to do a lot of damage. And against the Valkyries, we'll be able to do a lot of damage. So, I'm going to be recruiting more archers going into the future. In the next episode, we'll hope to wrap up Ashdod and swing this way, probably cut off here, and roll up Sileria as much as we can. I think Sileria has almost shot their wad, to be honest. I mean, they can build more armies, but I've proven that I can stop Silurian armies cold, and I think I can keep that up for a while. So, thank you all so much for watching. There have been a few setbacks, but we have made a lot of forward progress in this episode. I'm using this to learn for my multiplayer game. I'm experimenting with stuff. I know I'm messing things up. I am definitely learning about how Phlegra has to be scripted, and what goals you need to achieve to make Phlegran units dangerous. I'm also learning a lot about the strengths and limitations of the helot troops that you can spawn for free. Having a lot of them is great, but not if they don't accomplish anything. So, the multiplayer game, I'll be putting up the first videos on that within the next few days. We're on turn... The game's been moving pretty quickly, actually. We're on turn 7 right now. I'll start putting up videos once we reach turn 10 or 12, and then follow the same pattern that I did with the Machaca game, where I post videos about a year behind where the game is. So, thank you all so much again once more for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.